So, can you believe we're already on our last guest?
Yeah,
The show just
it
flew
goes
by
fast.
us.
It goes fast.
It goes really fast. Yeah. So we have our next guest and our last guest, but certainly not least, is the co-founder and CEO of Affectiva AI. And she's the author of a new book as well, Girl Decoded. Her name is Rana El Kaliouby. I hope I said that right. Are you there?
We're checking with her.
Online.
Hi.
How are ya?
Guys, I need to do.
Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Rana. You're live on air.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, showing us your kitchen. Hey, you have a big place.
Yeah, that's a nice place. You seem like you had somewhere nice to quarantine, didn't you?
Well, my kitchen is a little messy, but this isn't. So
I think all of our kitchens are messy right now, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Don't worry.
So tell us about what your company does. Artificial intelligence. A lot of us don't even know what that is.
So my company does artificial emotional intelligence. So we're about bringing emotional intelligence to technology so that it can understand our facial expressions and our emotions and our vocal intonations. And there are so many applications of that. Everything from understanding how people connect with one another in a virtual environment to mental health applications, making our roads safer, and a lot more.
So tell us about, we heard a producer told us that you wanted to talk about Robo-Cops. So one of the things right now, policing is definitely in the news right now for obvious reasons. Is the solution to, automate policing? Is that really going to help us attain higher levels of security without, all the problems associated with policing?
Well, I definitely first want to start by just acknowledging that this is what we're seeing in terms of systemic racism and injustice and police brutality is very is horrific and saddening, right? And there's a long history of this in this country and elsewhere too. I did not grow up in the United States. I grew up in the Middle East, and certainly there's been precedent for that there as well. I think it's really important that we think of this holistically and take a very human-centered approach. I wouldn't want us to just, build Robo-Cops or apply facial recognition technology broadly. I think that is really dangerous territory, actually. And it might end up exasperating the situation, and we might end up seeing a lot more discriminatory actions and profiling against people of color. So I think we just need to be really thoughtful and use technology as a tool to help people make just and right decisions.
Yeah, see, Rana, a long-time criticism against the Silicon Valley coders is okay, these people are overwhelmingly white and Asian American, and therefore, of course, male. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, they overwhelmingly discriminate against other people of color, right? And also, in certain instances, women, right? And when you work on AI, emotional intelligent AI, sure. How do you make sure the same problem doesn't happen here?
Human bias doesn't make it into our algorithms.
Absolutely. I think this is my biggest concern about AI in general today. It's about this issue of building bias accidentally, not intentionally, but accidentally into these algorithms, because we all have blind spots and we all come into designing a solution with our prior experiences. So you want diversity around the table. So I would say the number one approach to solving this problem is to ensure that our teams in tech are diverse as possible.
See, the word diversity has been a buzzword for a long time. It's not new. It's really not, right? But we're just not as diverse as we want to, right?
We're not. I mean, we've been talking. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for diversity because I check a lot of the minority boxes. I'm a woman in tech. I grew up in the Middle East. I'm Muslim. And so I really believe that this is the way to go, but we still have a lot of work to do in tech, and I'm very vocal about that.
Then in the case that if this technology gets developed before diversity is in full saturation, is there anything we can do to make sure it doesn't have all these adverse effects that you worry about?
Yeah, I advocate for thoughtful regulation. I actually think we do need regulation to make sure that this technology is not used without people's consent and without respecting privacy and not used for surveillance. but used in applications around, again, automotive or mental health where it's really helping people.
So tell us a little bit more about you. You're from the Middle East, and you wrote the book behind you at a nice fancy yellow cover, Girl Decoded. Did your upbringing inspire you to write a book about women in tech?
Yeah, I've had to grapple with being, Middle Eastern, where there are very strong kind of gender roles and a very strong cultural norms around what it means to be a woman. And then, of course, I ended up in tech, where there's also I'm a minority, especially in the AI space. So I just wanted to share my story very openly and vulnerably and authentically with the world, and show people that there is a path forward, and you can really create your own path and break free from some of these cultural and societal norms.
So being an outsider is like your daily life. It's not anything out of the ordinary, is it? You're used to it by now, aren't you?
I am, but I feel like it's so important to showcase all voices and all stories, because somebody hopefully out there is watching this and they're thinking, well, I kind of look like her, and if she can do it, I can too. And I think there's power in role models and sharing these stories.
Wow. What a great way to end that interview. Girl Decoded, catch it on Amazon, I imagine?
All your favorite book retailers have it. And also there's an audiobook that I narrated personally.
Cool.
That is not easy. So I know Julia has some experience in that role.
It's a long time in the booth.
So hats off for you for all your success. Thank you for being here today and talking about these very important issues. And we'll be in touch.
And good luck with your process of building this emotional intelligent AI.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Stay good.